Thank you for joining Effortless Attraction. My name is Erin McGinley. I'm the author of A Life You Want, Effortless, and The Woman's Journey. I'm a life coach, business mentor, and inspirational speaker. And my greatest value is making a difference in people's lives. So I hope through these podcasts, I can make a difference to your life.
Effortless Attraction podcast is sponsored by Colette Leeson Interview and Career Coaching. If you dream of landing your ideal job, consider Colette's services. With a success rate exceeding 90% among her interview clients, Colette offers personalized career guidance and interview coaching discreetly, both online and in person. She also conducts workshops and provides career advice talks. For further details, visit ColetteLeeson.com.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another Effortless Attraction podcast. So in today's episode, I'm joined by three incredible young Irish women, Erin Rose Kane, Marie Clancy, and Roisin McGinley, who almost 2 years ago took a leap of faith and moved to Abu Dhabi to begin their teaching journey. And over that time, they've not only grown as professionals, but have become wonderful friends. This episode is for anyone who's ever dreamt of working abroad, especially in the Middle East. And we talk honestly about what it's really like, the excitement, the challenges, the fear of being alone, and most importantly, the deep friendships, the laughter, and the life-changing experiences that come from stepping beyond your comfort zone. So I hope this conversation brings insight, inspiration, and maybe even a little courage to do something that you hear today. Ladies, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
It's like looking at three little girls that are starting primary school for the first day. You're very shy.
Yeah. You can hear Marie getting in there in the corner.
Okay, so listen, I'll call you out by one by one and ask you a few questions, girls. So, Roisin, I'm going to start with yourself. Did you come from in Ireland?
Donegal. I did childcare in Donegal. Then I did my last placement in primary school. Liked it, so I ended up then wanting to come over here.
And did you come out by yourself?
No, I came out with Michal, my boyfriend.
Oh, you came out with the boyfriend. So you had company.
I did have company. I was still really nervous. I remember I was in the airport and I remember looking around and there was just big groups, obviously like groups of people that came together, and it was just me and Michal. And I was sitting in the airport and I remember looking over and there was these three girls and they were like at this big thing of champagne and they were obviously going to Abu Dhabi too. I actually don't know who they were. I'd never seen them again. And Michal was like, "Do you want a drink?" I was like, "Yes, please." I was like, I need a few right now because I was so nervous and I don't normally get nervous for that kind of stuff. But I think like the dread came into me when I was sitting in the terminal.
Yeah. How long had you been thinking about heading out there yourself and your boyfriend?
Well, see, my sister was living in Doha like for a few years. So she's out there for 5 years. I visited her 3 times. So when I went out and seen her and I saw like how she was living, I was like, well, this is what I want to do. So that was probably in like 5th year. So then I kind of, everything I was doing was trying to just get out to the UAE or like Qatar or somewhere. And then
your boyfriend's a teacher as well?
Yeah, so he did sports and exercise in Letterkenny. So he was like, you can teach out here without an actual teaching degree. So we both applied to Sabas, both got the call back. I remember we got the email and we were up in Dublin at a concert that night and we were dreading that we'd be put in 2 different places because obviously he was like he's like, you kept talking about it, and he's like, and eventually I was like, right, I want to go too. And then he started getting nervous then that he was going to be like put somewhere else. And he's like, I'm not going. He's like, if I'm put somewhere else. But we did end up in the same place. And even when he came over then, he got like a big group of friends. So he's happy. So I think he's actually settled in very well as well.
Well, Roisin, thank you very much for being the first. I'll be coming back to you. I'm going to pop round to Marie.
Hi.
Marie, well, you get a chance now to tell us where you're from.
I'm from Galway, Connemara in Galway.
Excellent. And did you come out by yourself?
No, I came out with one of my best friends from home, actually. We went to college together. So I did primary school teaching and she did early childhood education. And so we both came over together. She stayed for a little while. It wasn't her thing. And she went home and I stayed.
So how long did your friend stay for?
She did the first, there was a week of just the first years and then a week with the returners. And I think she did 2 weeks of like teaching. And then she went home about after a month. It just wasn't for her. But
Yeah.
she did early childhood education. She never, ever, ever wanted to become a primary school teacher. And then teaching here for 2 weeks actually made her change her mind. And now she wants to do primary school teaching. So
You said something important there, Marie, that it wasn't for her. And this is something that I'm quite sure you have noticed with other people too. You know, you build up this dream or what it will be like and going out and the money that you'll earn. And then you could arrive there and think, no, this isn't working for me.
yeah,
But
exactly.
what was it for you that you said, no, this is for me?
Oh, I always say it's the people. I'm at home when I'm with people that I love, and only for the girls and the friends that I made, I would have been on that flight home with Aoife. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big important thing. Even though you came out with someone, you were left after 2 weeks by yourself, and the importance of being able to interact and make new friends.
Yeah,
Is
it's amazing. It's
is that
definitely,
something that you would, to say to someone that's thinking of going out there, even by themselves, how important friendship is?
yeah, definitely. Like I needed every one of my friends at home thought Aoife came over to help me settle because they knew I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. They were like, obviously she was going to come home. I was like, no, she actually did want to stay. But I'd say if you're thinking, oh, I want to go, but I don't want to go by myself, do it 100%. You will make friends no matter what.
Well, thank you very much, Marie. Now I'm going to go over to the wee redhead sitting between you. Miss
Hello,
Erin
Mother.
Rose. Miss Erin Rose Kane, this is my daughter.
Hello, guys.
Well, what I'm going to ask you the same question, Erin Rose, because I'm going to interview you the same as the rest of the girls. Did you go by yourself?
I did. I did go by myself. As you know, I'm probably the ones that from home would know. I was in London. I done my teaching degree out there, and then I decided just shortly after I got my teaching degree that I wanted to travel. I always said I wanted to travel, so I suppose Vietnam and Thailand was definitely on the bucket list to do something like that there. So I suppose I just took the leap of faith and applied for jobs out here, not knowing anybody. And I would always say there was one person, one of the fellas I went to uni with from Tipperary, he was speaking to me about going out to Abu Dhabi. It was never really a thought in my head. And then shortly after that, I just decided to apply for it. And the place that I originally had got, I vaguely remember me and you, Mummy, were in Corrick House.
Oh, yes. At a
Got the
spa
phone.
day.
Yeah, we were having a spa day. Got the phone call that they were booking my flight and that I need to fly out the next day. So that was a bit of a rush, but it all came very quickly, I suppose. When I first moved out, I was originally put in a school 2 hours outside of Abu Dhabi, and I done my training there for 2 weeks. And I was a bit nervous because I generally had no idea who any of them were. Everybody had already made their connections, so I was the newbie coming in there. And I think it was maybe 2 days before we were supposed to start school, Khalifa, the school that I'm in now, rang looking for a business studies teacher. But because I done my teaching degree in primary education, I was a bit nervous to go into the secondary, the higher grades. And I remember talking to you saying, should I go and do it? And you said, sure, why not? What have you got to lose? And honestly, I think it was the best thing that I could have done. Whenever I got to the school, they put me in accommodation. I was living by myself, I think. Was it 1 or 2 weeks? Could have been 2 weeks. And one of the girls that I had met in Ruiz, she got moved to Dubai, but she knew Anya that was living here. So she gave me Anya's number and I texted Anya one night. Everybody was going out and then we just all decided to meet up. And it just so happened that Aoife, Marie's friend, had decided to leave. So I then moved into
the apartment that we're in now. We've been here for 2 years.
Well, that worked out well.
It is.
See, I've learned
That's
something
the
new
best thing
today.
ever.
I learned something new today. But do you get a choice with all of the girls? Do you get a choice of where you teach, or is it just a lottery?
I would say whenever you're applying for the jobs, they do give you the location of where you are, where you're going to be based. I know for us, well, I know for me anyway, when I applied, it was a Key Stage 2 teacher. I don't know about you. What was yours?
Yeah, I was told that I was like literally on my teaching thing, it says that I'm a foreign language teacher. And then I rocked up to training and they were like, yeah, you're in the KG department, because the KG teachers got a medical shot that I didn't get.
It was like a hepatitis.
Something
I know
like
I got
that.
that shot
It was
anyway.
for
It's
in case they bite you. I
it's
think
in
Yeah.
case the kids
They
bite.
they're like just in case the kids bite them. It was one of those. We're supposed to get two of them.
They
But
don't.
the question was, is it a lottery of where you get to go to?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
As
Yeah,
in-
That's what we're saying.
But you put in.
I was told that I was one thing, but ended up being another.
No, but like we were given 3 different options. So
Okay.
like you had your preferences. So I remember in my second interview, they had said to me, they were like, where would you like to be placed? And I actually think, see, because I did early childcare, I thought that I wouldn't be able to go into Abu Dhabi or Dubai because apparently it was supposed to be, it was stricter on the degrees. So I put down Bahrain and I put Qatar. And then I actually had nowhere else for the third shot. But they went and sent me here anyway. But I'm actually happier out here, I think, than I would have been anywhere else.
Yeah, because Erin Rose, you were sent to a different location. It was very quiet for you. So here's the thing too, for anybody that's contemplating going out. Who do you think the different areas are for, personality wise? Like the area that you went to, what type of person would that suit?
The one that we're currently in now at the minute.
No, the one that you originally went into, because it seemed quiet for you.
Yeah, well, you know me, I don't know if I read too much into where it was. I just seen Abu Dhabi, but the location was 2 hours outside of Abu Dhabi, even though it was in the region.
Yeah.
So I obviously didn't do my homework on that there. I was just excited that
To get to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
But that location that you were first placed in, what type of person would it suit?
I would say it definitely would suit maybe someone that's in a couple. It's a very residential area. It would be nicer. The apartments are nicer and you do get more money, obviously, because it is further out. But I feel like maybe if you were to go out with friends, because the people that have been there before, they've said they're longer years and they've obviously built their relationships. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for something new, like they would have done all their traveling. A lot of them were there for like 3 or 4 years before they decided to leave. And they weren't really taking in new teachers. So, like the girls that I was living with were very nice for them 2 weeks.
Every area or every zone pay a different price to teachers. It's not all one price.
Yeah, I would say it would pay different depending on your location. Like our school, Sabas, would pay different than other schools in the area.
Okay.
They're not all the same.
Marie, were you aware of that then whenever you were applying, that different schools pay different rates, or did it matter?
Honestly, the reason, it sounds so bad to say, the reason why I came here in the first place was, I remember it was during COVID and we had to do like the Gaeltacht online, and my teacher was like, oh yeah, if you're thinking of going over to Abu Dhabi or Dubai, you'll make 6 figures a year. And I was like, that sounds like a bit of me. But no, we obviously do not make 6 figures at all.
False advertising.
Yeah, and like the way like degrees are at home, say a primary school teacher would make more than an early childhood educator would, but here it's more on how many years of experience you have.
Okay.
So someone with an early childhood education degree but with more experience would make more than me, say, if I had less years. So
Well, girls, you seem to have enough money to get by anyway because you have been on many trips. Rushing, name some of the places that you have traveled to.
We've oh my god, my voice. That's crazy. Oh my god, can I have some water? That's disgusting.
She's getting all nervous here.
I almost choked. Okay, sorry. So we've been to Sri Lanka, Jordan, Vietnam, Thailand, Oman. Where else? Got it. No.
They're the countries. Yeah.
We have been to Rome. We stopped in Rome on the way
We
back.
stopped in Rome on the way back, but out of all of them, I think like Thailand and Vietnam, obviously they were like the big holidays because then we have spring break. That's when you probably go further, and then we get maybe like a long weekend, and that's when we did Sri Lanka and we did Jordan because it was a shorter period of time, but you could see everything
Yeah.
in that short amount of time.
But anybody listening to this podcast and thinking, for a long weekend, they can just pop over to Sri Lanka, they can go here, they can go there. See, are obviously getting paid well enough. Erin Rose, is rent free over there? Do you get your accommodation in this?
Yeah, we're very lucky. We get the rent paid for us, so there's no shortage of the water now, and that kettle be boiling all the time.
Is your electric? Is all your bills paid for you?
Everything's paid for. The only thing that we really need to pay for ourselves is food and luxuries.
Yeah, that's
There
it.
we go.
Yeah.
No bills.
No. But again, other schools, they would give like a housing allowance. So most Sabbath schools, they would have they would rent off people that already own, like, so we live in like a compound, but other schools would give a lump sum of money to someone to go and look for their own apartment if they needed.
Yeah. Now, you are all, I believe, involved with the GAA out there in Abu Dhabi.
Roisin was last year. We tried to convince her to come back this year, but she was just a cheerleader.
I was
a GAA cheerleader for her boyfriend.
No, he gave up last year.
But is it a big thing? Is the GAA big out there?
It's massive. It definitely is getting bigger. The championship was not that long ago, and Gareth Hogue, Burns, he was out and he done a big presentation, and it is getting very big over here. And there was an email sent by the school not that long ago that they wanted to start doing GAA matches with different Sabbath schools.
When you talk about Sabbath schools, is it Sabbath you're saying?
Yeah.
What does Sabbath schools, what is that?
So like it's basically a sort of like a franchise of schools. So you know at home you'd have the one primary school. Over here in our school, you've got your primary school and your secondary school in one building.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's a bit of a chain. There's a lot of different schools under the one name.
Okay. Marie, now we talk about all the great things, and I see lots of party events. This is out on yachts and champagne and drink and beaches, and it really looks on social media looking in and thinking, what a great life. And it is a great life. He's around Dubai, the Formula One track on bicycles. Mm-hmm. What have you found, though, have been some of the not so great things about going out?
Going out or just here in general?
Just being there in general.
Well, you're speaking to an optimistic person right now. So I'd say honestly, and it's not to put anyone off at all, but the way we're treated in school, I feel like I'm back in college. Like
when you say, apologies for interrupting, when you say treated in school, by your superiors or by children?
Superiors. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I feel like in our department, my friends are my colleagues, yeah, but our superiors, they just want to make sure that you're in line. And if you're not in line, they'll make sure that you're in trouble, or it's not how school works back at home.
So Marie, then the schools you feel are different than the schools back in Ireland?
Yeah, completely different. It's just the way everyone works together you just know that there's superiors and they show it.
Yeah. And you feel that you're being treated like a child, as you're saying?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Like you're being watched if you're late to class or if you're doing this or the other. Like they want you to mess up just so they can have something against you.
So how do you overcome that then in your mindset? How do you not allow that to affect your day?
I come home, I rant about it, and then just move on.
Excellent. I suppose like anybody going into an office or going to any setting, there's always going to be someone on a power trip, someone that has that wee bit of authority. But probably more positives than not. Erin Rose, what have been some of your highlights? And the reason why I'm going to you and asking this question, Erin Rose will be departing from her friends very soon. She's going back to London. And so they will be a woman down. Erin Rose, what have been your highlights?
Right in the corner here. My highlights, I wouldn't even know where to start and where to end.
Let's reminisce now, and then you'll go, oh, I don't want to move back at all.
She wants me to start crying here. Honestly, everything. I suppose literally the whole house here, and even in Anya, she's in the other building. The amount that we've been through in the space of 2 years is just
reckless.
It is mental. And like Marie said before, we're just a family.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine doing any of this here if I didn't meet the girls. I would say if I didn't have the girls or the formation that we've built, even outside of our school, the girls at the football as well, like you make it a home, you make it what it is.
But do you think, is that a thing that the Irish bring with them? Like you're Tyrone, you have Roisin the Donegal and Marie Galway. So you have a nice wee collection, and do you think, is it an Irish thing that people, whether have the crack or you want to make a home? Or
I would say so. Now there's a couple of lads there that are English and they fit in very well. They've had to
Nile English.
No, see, they're wannabe Irish though. They do try.
They're great. If George was here, George would say that he's an Irishman at heart. But
Up to his brother.
Yeah. Oh, look with her. But yeah, definitely the trips away. Even there's nights here that we would just sit and God love our neighbours would sing karaoke, and it wouldn't be too nice now.
But so anyone say that was in the positions that you were all in 2 years ago, you are still there at this stage. So I'm guessing you would all highly recommend having that experience if someone's thinking about it.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
yeah.
Because we're from 3 completely different parts of Ireland, we would have never met each other.
Yeah.
If we hadn't moved here.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think that anyway. And Anya is from Meath.
Yeah.
So that's, all
it's better that you all part ways now. Well, I suppose there's a All Ireland quarterfinal coming up now, so it's.
And you know what? I think when we were talking about manifesting, we've the crest up in the background, and that's the 4 crests.
Oh, very good. The counties.
Yeah.
So before I finish off here, girlies, I know this has been a short interview today. Let's see. Out of the 3, you have to all call a name. Who's the messy one in the house?
Roisin.
So who did the vote go to? Who was the vote?
Roisin.
Roisin's.
Well, I'm the messy youth.
Who is the mummy of the house?
It depends on the circumstances.
It does. It really depends.
I would like to think that I am to a point.
To a point, but then
on a night out, Roisin would be mummy.
Roisin's mummy, she looks after us on a night out.
And then if we're sick, Marie looks after us.
Yeah, I'm a nurse.
The next day.
Yeah.
We take roles.
And then who would be the person that would be the cleaner?
Misha.
The clean freak. Yeah.
Erin Rose, clean freak.
Always.
Oh, great. Girls, listen, thank you so much for your time today. And is there anything that you would offer, any advice? I'll finish off with it. I'll go over to you, Roisin.
It's
What
just
advice could you hand out now with your years of wisdom?
I think if you're thinking of it, give it a go, and like as long as you have a good support system, you'll be fine. And then even like the GAA teams and stuff, they do kind of introduce you to loads of new people. And there's people there that have obviously never played football. So like when I first went, I was dreading it because I was like, I've never kicked a ball in my life. And now I'm joining the GAA team. I did that for a year. And then what else? Just you do I like at work it does feel like there's so much work to do, but you put in 4 hard days and then the weekend's yours. And like there's so much stuff to do here. So like at home on the weekend you're going to the same place all the time. Here there's like different brunches, you're meeting new people, and there's just loads of more opportunities over here.
Mm-hmm. And I meant to say, you came out with me, Hall, your boyfriend, but it would not be permitted the two of you to live together.
Well, they've only brought in a law now last year where we actually are able to live together, but where we're living, I think it's owned by a local, and they obviously have it that you cannot live with your partner in this compound. But sure, we basically live together anyway, and like Mihal's like the fourth person in this apartment.
He's the fourth girlie.
No, he is literally because like he is only across the compound, so it's like a 2-minute walk to him. But we are always in each other's apartments, so if anything, it feels like we do live together.
Yeah.
Well, Erin Rose and Marie.
We're one big happy family.
Thank you, Roisin. Erin Rose, I'll go to you before I go back to Marie. So there was recent happenings there and came up on the news. Like for whenever people get to listen to this podcast, they listen to this podcast. But this is in June of 2025, where there's a few missile attacks up there in Doha, and all the airports and stuff were shut down. But how has that been perceived or taken from you all?
Well, we had the local news reporter in our ears every morning, every afternoon. Roisin was keeping us up to date with everything that was happening. And like, to be honest, we didn't really pass any remarks until it was spotted in Qatar. And then that's when we decided to go over and actually watch the news. But I was speaking to a couple of the girls that I know that live over there, and they said that it was scary enough, but everything seems to be calmed down now, I suppose. Marie was keeping the whole thing calm. She says not to worry, so we didn't worry.
Marie's word is the truth.
So wise. She's wise.
You would have hardly brought a rosary bead between you over there to say a wee rosary.
No. Well, with the Pope, with a picture of the Pope behind us, so
Yeah.
I kept
landed. Charlotte Burns and the Pope.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin Rose. I'll pop over to Marie. Marie, any words of wisdom?
Go for it. Just do it. I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's something new. And I think the friends you make, especially Abu Dhabi, everyone says it. As big as Abu Dhabi is, you just know everyone, and everyone is so nice to each other. You do feel at home. It's a home away from home.
Yeah.
So definitely go for it.
Yeah. As long as you have a tongue in your mouth, have a conversation, have a decent personality.
There you go. Go for it.
And you've hired a car. You have your own transport and everything. You girls are just great.
Yeah.
We're flat out. Marie loves a good speeding ticket.
Oh, word to the wise, actually. If you do move over here, they're really strict on fines. You don't go a mile over or anything. You know, actually.
Was that all you were over? Just 1 mile over the speed limit, Marie?
Maybe not a mile. But, give or take. Look, I'm a safe driver. I haven't crashed or anything. It's fine. Do you
Okay.
know?
You have a great way of justifying it all, Marie. I believe you. Well, girls, thank you so much for your chats today. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on another Effortless Attraction podcast.